How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it's going to be on Death of a Unicorn. Now this is a 2025 horror comedy film, and this stars Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega as they play a father and daughter who they accidentally hit and kill a unicorn while they're en route to a weekend retreat, where his billionaire boss, played by Richard E. Grant, seeks to exploit the creature's miraculous curative properties. So that's pretty much the story of Death of a Unicorn. Now, this is a new movie from A24, and you guys may know I am a fan of A24 myself when it comes to them making horror movies. And when it comes to their horror movies nowadays, they do tend to get pretty divisive amongst critics and audiences due to its concept ideas that are either quite unique or either just quite silly or anything like that. But I still get quite excited when it comes to them making horror movies for the horror genre. But as for me, after I checked out this movie, I can definitely say that I overall had a pretty fun time here with Death of a Unicorn. The concept for this movie does sound pretty silly, and yet there are often times the film does use it as a satire in a way, which is something that I didn't really expect when it tends to be quite comical. But granted, the film is quite comical when it comes to the kills in the film, when we see these unicorns killing off some characters, which those moments were generally quite entertaining for myself. And once the film opens up, it does give you a few major hints and stuff of what you expect to see out of this movie when it comes to the overall corpse of the unicorn itself, in which we see Jenna Ortega's character where she can instantly see through this unicorn that she sees in the movie. And speaking of Jenna Ortega, there's a major part to her in this movie for a character which tries to bring in heart to the movie, which to me did feel quite forced in when it came to that aspect in the movie. But it's something I did appreciate what the film was trying to go for, as well as for the overall studying of the unicorn itself as well. Even though there are certain times where it does tend to feel a bit slowed down when it comes to the overall studying of the unicorn, despite being an hour and 49 minutes. But the film managed to pick itself up once it gets into the last act of the film, which that act totally saved me for this movie here. And the performances all around were all really good. Both Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega, they worked very well together as a father and daughter in this movie, yeah. And their performances all around were really good. And everyone else in the movie, such as Poulter, Leoni, and Richard E. Grant, they were quite good, and yeah, they were quite fun within this movie as well. But in the end, guys, Death of a Unicorn, I overall had a pretty fun time here with this new horror comedy flick from A24. But it certainly isn't one I wouldn't say consider me like one of the absolute best or anything like that. But it's overall a solid entry when it comes to them making horror comedies for their film library of horror films. I'm going to give Death of a Unicorn 3.5 out of 5. Overall, I had a pretty fun time here with this one, quite a bit here, but I wouldn't necessarily say this is one of my absolute favorites when it comes to A24 themselves of making horror comedies or anything like that, because I've seen a few other ones that are quite far better than this one. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching my AK After I Saw review on Death of a Unicorn, and I'd like to know what you guys think of this movie, if you've already seen this movie, or if you just recently checked this one out. And as always, this has been Foggins Media Corner signing off.